Michael, to the Bexar County Sheriff's Office. We will not hurt you. We just want you to come outside or pick up the phone.
Okay. Tyra Henderson, San Antonio, Texas, and Bexar County Sheriff's Department. My complaint is on August the 6th, the police department came out because my mother-in-law had called him because my husband, he suffered from PTSD, and he was in one of his depressions where he had poured gasoline to our home and I guess was threatened to blow himself up. So my mother-in-law reacted and called the police, and we were thinking the police was going to come out and try to save him, but instead they murdered him. Well, I was there, but they made us go, like, out of my subdivision to a church, and then they had the SWAT team, and they filled up the hole, and coming into the subdivision was full, too, so they wouldn't allow us to be present at the time because nobody enter or exit out of the subdivision. Homicide.
Did they give you a cause of death? Like, did they say what actually caused the death?
Well, no, they didn't. They wouldn't even identify his body. I couldn't go to my home. They said in 48 hours. So they took his cell phone, and they also took his license, which they haven't released it for me. I asked them, and they told me that they need it for evidence.
Okay, and this was something that happened just recently, right? Wasn't at the beginning
Yes,
of this month?
it was August the 6th, yes, sir. And I've been back and forth with them, and I don't know. Like I said, my husband, like a week before, he used to work with the Bexar County Sheriff's Department, but he worked for Aramark, and he was a contractor. So he was a general manager, and he worked with a lot of the officers. So they pretty much knew him. So I feel like it was something more to the fact than what they're claiming it was, because my husband told me like a week before that he had wrote the DA. And before all this was going on, I wasn't thinking, and they had started asking me questions. Who do we internet with, and who do we have phone service with? Which, after the fact, I felt like that was irrelevant to what they were trying to do at the time. But then, you know, that night, as I thought about it, I said it had to do something with that letter that he wrote to the DA. And they
What was the letter about?
Some things that happened at the jailhouse, corrupt things, I guess, is involving Aramark and the sheriff, and payout with the I can't even think of everything down. I can't with the commissioners, you know, how they for contracts and all that. It's involving a lot of that information. So I guess I didn't realize it till after everything was over that it's more to what it really was, you know. And it came to me that I remember my husband saying I wrote the DA and I told him everything. So that could have caused his depression too, because I don't know. He didn't never tell me what it was, but when they asked me who we internet with and you trying to say my husband, why would you ask me that? I didn't get it. I don't know what's going on. I think it's more to it.
Now, okay, so just explain again exactly what caused the police to come. Like, what brought the police there?
My mother-in-law, she had went to the house, and my daughter, because he had called my daughter, and my husband had kind of like went into a little rage, so I had left the house real quickly. And my daughter called me and said that my husband was at home. So she went over there. She got my mother-in-law, and she went over there, and my husband, they could smell where he had poured gasoline in the house. So they was worried. So my mother-in-law said she needed to call the police because she thought he was going to burn himself, put himself on.
Okay. So they called 911?
Yes, she did, yes.
So the police came out, and did they at any point, like since this happened, have they given you any indication that he put up some sort of fight, or that he, attacked one of them?
He did. Well, my husband did have a weapon. He did. He came outside, and my neighbors could verify it. I was there at this point when he came outside, and he said, "I'm not bothering nobody. Why don't y'all just leave?" And he had the gun to his side, and he said, "I'm in front of my own home. Y'all just leave me alone." And he was cursing, and he had a few drinks. So then he went back inside. But this was like at 2:30, and everything took place, I want to say maybe 9, 10 o'clock that night. So this was like going all day. And my belief, I don't have his autopsy yet, and I went and I wanted his autopsy, and they said that it's not in yet because I'm thinking he was asleep and that he had barricaded himself in the room, and he was laying on the floor, and they shot him so many times that you couldn't see his face or anything. And the mortuary, they told me that they didn't think I should see because it was so horrifying that it would be something that I could never get out of my head, And
No,
so I didn't look at it.
I don't mean to get too graphic, but were they referring to like him being assaulted? Like was his face like that? Like somebody had beat him up? Or
No, they shot him a lot of times. His hands were mutilated. That they just went in and just shot him up real bad. I still have my mattresses. It's about at least 14 holes in my mattress. They just went in and was shooting. I don't think they used any other type of procedure that they supposed to use when doing something like that. I don't think they did. They just went in and started shooting. That's what I'm thinking. And then when I called the homicide detective and spoke with him, he tried to lie to me, and he was telling me that my husband had committed suicide. And I told him, no, I don't believe that because I was in my room and I seen everything, where they had left the carpet with all the stuff on it. I don't know if it was his brains or what, but it was all over the carpet that they had left in my room. And I told him, no, that's not true. That couldn't happen. So then he said, you're right. Your husband was laying right on to his side. I said,
so
of course he's not going to repeat that again.
Do you know the name of that officer that told you that?
Yes, Detective Ruben Aralavas. But I know he probably won't repeat that again, but he did tell me, you're right, he didn't, and your husband was laying there with his gun to his side. And I just broke down, I was so upset about it. And then when they gave me the report like 2 days ago, no, that was yesterday, I went to pick up the police report. They faxed it to me to UPS, and I read the report, and it said that he was under the bed, that he had barricaded himself under the bed. And they had told me that they had gave him a cell phone, and they didn't have no contact within 2 hours, so that's when they decided to go in. And when they told me that, I was thinking, well, he had been drinking. He probably went to sleep, So I don't know until the autopsy comes, and that's the question I have.
Do you have the police report with you?
No, I brought my boys to football practice. I have twin boys and my daughter. They up, and I don't have it with me. It's at home on my table. So I'm sitting in the car now. Yeah.
Okay. Is there any way that you could email that to us or fax it to us?
Yes.
Okay.
And
I'll give you the fax number. I'll give you the fax number in just a second. But what did it say on the police report as like that justified them shooting him? Or does the police report say that he shot himself?
No, they didn't say he shot himself because it's considered suicide. It's homicide. So they said that they could see the muzzle of his gun sticking from underneath the bed, but the way my bed is made, that's not true. So that's how I know that's not true. because of the way my bed is made. And what I'm thinking he did is barricade himself underneath. He moved. I wish I could have showed you, but he had the box spring and everything, and he was underneath the bed. And I think they just pushed the door in and just started targeting, just started shooting, and they killed him. And I do have pictures of him, but I can't look at them. Someone took them for me.
Okay.
I
In the
couldn't
police
look at
report,
them.
no, I understand. Um, in the police report, did it say it said that in the police report that they thought they saw a muzzle of a gun?
Yeah, that's what they said. Yeah.
Okay. Did it indicate anywhere in the report that they actually found a gun when, like, after the shooting was over with?
Yeah, he had a gun. Yeah, he had AK-47. He did have a gun, but he didn't. The homicide detective told me, he was laying down and the gun was to his side. You know, I'm thinking he had went to sleep because they said they had been talking to him on the phone, and then it was like 2 hours passed and there was no more talking. So I figured he must have passed out because he had been drinking all day. Apparently that's what was causing his depression and to do everything he was doing. And so when they went in, my thought process is that when they pushed the door in, because he had pushed the dresses and stuff by the door, from what I can tell, he must have pushed it in and just started shooting, not knowing, I don't know. But they
Like, after they entered the room that he was in the police report, say anything that they gave him any kind of commands to come out from under the bed, or that there was any kind of communication at all, or
no communication. I'm telling
so
you,
the
I have a
police
gut
report
feeling
says,
he was asleep,
okay,
but they're not going to say that.
so the police report basically, I mean, does it say that they entered the room and then exchanged gunfire, or, I mean,
They
had
just
to
said
have
that
been,
they seen a muzzle. They said he didn't fire at all. See, that's the thing. They said they seen the muzzle and they started shooting. Yeah, that's all they said. But I'll fax it to you so you can see. But
okay.
no, they just started shooting, and I'm just thinking that with the autopsy, I believe he was asleep. I don't know if they could tell or not, but that's what I'm thinking, that he wasn't awoke. I guess because they said they have to keep his stuff until they finish with the investigation. And the homicide detective wanted to speak to me, but I didn't want to talk to him because after this point, I don't trust you. If you told me my husband committed suicide and then I tell you he didn't and then you say you're right, I don't know if I could trust you. You just lied to me.